What's up guys, it's Volga and welcome to a new build guide video. Today we have the Crit Harvest Lich, which is a really fast monolith farmer. You can move around super fast with this build, so much movement speed, transplant, low cooldown on it. Really nice to play, really fun. You can be actually really tanky on it also, especially if you have the red rings and all of the items for the tankiness. You can be super tanky. Does quite a bit of damage at the moment. I'm missing a lot of damage though. Yeah, pretty easy gameplay on the 500 corruption. This is just some gameplay from my stream, and yeah, it took like a couple of days to get to 500. So pretty easy gaming. And basically the only bad thing about this build is the AOE, because it's a melee build. But you can scale up the AOE quite a bit with the items, with gear. Basically you can get a lot more AoE than I have at the moment, and this is pretty much how you start this build every echo. So we basically start with 0 HP most of the time, unless you go really fast, because we have all the DKs going on. So I pop the potion, I pop Reaper, pop Death Seal, and then so basically my HP is gonna stay where I seal it. So that's basically gonna be the gameplay loop when you start the echo, because we have so much DKs going on, and we don't have any reach and health regen, because all of our sustain is the insane leech we have and HP on hit. So we always want to be hitting enemies leeching, and keep in mind we also have over leech basically in low life, so the leech instances stay up because we don't reach full HP. So we are very tanky while in low life basically, while death sealing and stuff. And yeah, we have a lot of modifiers on this, so deadly and HP and dodge and stuff. We just go through everything without even caring, just chilling, you know. A really strong build, this one. So as you can see, I'm just speed running to the objective, killing a bit of things. And yeah, we have the aura of decay, unspec'd aura of decay, so we get big poison DR and stuff. And yeah, then just like insta kill the rare here. Pretty easy, and you can scale it up much higher also. And as usual, we have T4 lightest arbor here. Pretty good post damage already on my character. But I'm missing a lot of DPS from the weapon, especially. So you can get this much higher. As you can see, I just tank the beam, because we have so much DR against poison, especially, and physical too. So we are very tanky, and I'm not actually really using the physical DR passives at the moment for this, so you can even be tankier. But very easy lightest arbor bossing. One of the fastest characters for this actually, because it moves around so fast and you can just easily kill the boss. So really nice. And then and in the end we're of course gonna cull the boss as well. So starting with Harvest, which is going to be our main damage skill. So something to keep in mind with Harvest, so we deal double damage against cursed enemies. That's innately in the skill built in, so that's basically free 100% more damage from that. And we will always have curse on the enemies, because we are applying curse on hit. And then this is a trouble point, this one, and here we get another 65% more damage against cursed enemies, so very nice. You want to always have this maxed out. And then this side we go for the poison chance. This is just a travel node, because we have a lot of poison chance just from the aura of decay, which we are using unspec'd. And so this gives us 30% more damage against poisoned enemies. So very nice more damage here. And then for this one, so we get a free necrotic shred chance, so 80%, so we don't need to get the necrotic shred blessing at all because of this. And then this point here gives us a lot of HP on hit, because we have a lot of intelligence, so you get a lot of HP on hit, so free healing from that. And then the reason we go here is basically only because of this base crit node. So this is what allows us to not build any gear, not build any crit on our gear, and we basically get free maximum crit chance from the for Harvest. So here we get a bit of culling, so 8% culling, and then this is useless travel point, but so 30% base crit from this, and the HP cost doesn't matter at all, because we have a lot of healing, a lot of sustain. So that's not doesn't matter. And then basically, so we have 35% base crit on harvest. So this makes it so we don't need much increase at all. So basically, we cap our crit chance with reperform and a bit of crit chance from the passive tree, and then Omnis. That's gonna be our crit chance. And then the rest of the points in harvest we wanna put into area. Basically, we really want a lot of basically as much area as we can on harvest, because the base AOE is really low. So this depends on how many plus to harvest you have on your relic. So with +4 you could have 4 here for the 80%. That's pretty much the maximum you can have, because we can't take out any of the other points. And then on reperform, this is travel point, easy 20% increased damage, and then this is a really big one. So we get 100% increased damage and 100% increased crit chance. So like I said before, we don't need to build any crit on our gear, and that's really nice. And then this gives us a bit of movement speed, so basically 10% movement speed at max stacks. And then this is a really big one, 30% attack speed, so a lot of DPS from this. So you always want to have these points pretty much, so you basically locked in those points. And then this travel point, and on this one we basically, this enhances our intelligence scaling even more, because we are stacking a lot of int, so we get armor per int. And here you also get free necrotic and poison rest. So you don't have to use this if you happen to have like a really good Omnis, if you are already capped in resistance, but usually just 1 point, pretty easy, get your resistance here. And then this one, so basically this makes it so Reap and Transplant don't share the cooldown, so you can use both at the same time, or you know, you can basically allows you to use both. And then this makes Reap cooldown shorter. And then for Death Seal, so Death Seal basically seals our HP to a value that is usually like very low HP because of this. So you get more damage based on your missing HP, and you also take less damage based on your missing HP. So very strong skill. You basically see this one on every Lich build, just like Reperform and Transplant. So here we go for the increased duration of Death Seal, so it lasts longer. And then this disables all of our HP drain effects, so makes it so basically we don't drain any of our HP. Really good. And then you get haste here also after Death Sealing. And then on this one, so we get increased damage per missing HP, really nice free damage. And then this one is just you get basically more death waves. You get like a death wave every second while you are using Death Seal. We don't really scale up the death wave damage itself, because we are not a spell build, so we don't have any pretty much any flat spell damage. But we still go for this because it's pretty nice. You get some ailment stacking for free basically, because it hits the enemies. And then this one here, so you get armor per missing HP and also some stun avoidance. So this makes it so we are still getting a bunch of benefit from stacking HP, even though we are low life with the Death Seal. And this is really important. So basically, if you have over 33% HP when you use Death Seal, it's always going to be sealed to 1/3 of your HP, so 33%. You can even seal lower. You know, if you have like 10% HP, it's gonna be sealed to 10%. So you would get even more damage. And but yeah, always wanna have this. Here we get some poison chance, just to have even more reliable damage multiplier from the harvest tree. So you will always have a lot of poison stacks on enemies. And then you get a bit of more damage for the death waves, even though we don't, like I said, we don't really do damage with those. But there's really nothing else you could take. You could maybe, if you want, you could take 2 points here to get 16 culling. So you would basically, because harvest has 8% culling, so you would get a bit more boosting damage. You could get bone armor here, but we already have that from other skills, so you don't really need it. Then for Transplant, so we want to get these always, so you get haste and frenzy after using Transplant. And this is basically means you will always have this up, because the cooldown is gonna be about 3 seconds exactly. So if you use a Transplant on cooldown, you're gonna get these buffs all the time. And then this one here, you get cooldown recovery speed, so more transplanting, pretty good. And then this makes it so you also slow enemies with like a pool of blood when using transplant, so we don't build any slow chance on our weapon, for example. And then here, travel point, and then you get the bone armor, all of the bone armor stuff here. So this makes it so we don't even need bone armor procs from the bone curse, which is also currently bugged. So this works at the moment. So we get 4-second bone armor, and then this makes it so it's actually 7 seconds. So the cooldown is 10 second. So basically 3-second downtime only, so very good. And you also get more effectiveness for this, so this is the most effective bone armor we can get, so very nice. So basically less damage taken and some armor from that. And then here we get additional detonation, so more of these like pool of blood and stuff. And then this one really important, so you want to have the bone curse on arrival, so this makes it so we don't actually need to cast bone curse at all. And we apply bone curse on hit, like we are gonna see soon. So this is a must-have. And then these two nodes are basically just like throwaway points, because we don't really have anything else to take, because transplant is spell damage and we don't scale a spell. But here we convert it to necrotic. You can do whatever with these. You can even take the more damage here if you want. Alright, and then for bone curse, so we basically need a curse for the harvest damage multipliers. So this is gonna be our curse. This is again a spell, so we don't actually do damage with the curse itself really, because we don't scale spell. But this applies a lot of things for us. So this is travel point here, and here we get some armor set chance. So 80% armor chance, and you could even take these points here, but at the moment these seem to be bugged, so they don't work. And like I said before, we actually get a very nice reliable bone armor from the transplant, so we don't really even need these anyway. And then this one here, so we get mark on death on bone curse. So this makes it so we get, it's basically 25% minus all res on enemies, so basically a more multiplier for us, pretty nice. And then this one makes it so mark on death and bone curse have a unlimited duration, so that they don't fall off, even though this is not really impactful, but still. And then this one here, we get some slow from the bone curse, and then this kind of a travel point, we don't really need this. And then this is the big one here, so we use we get bone curse on hit after casting it. So this makes it so we use transplant, it auto casts the bone curse, and then we just hit the enemies, and we apply bone curse on them, and we also apply the mark on death. So we don't need to cast bone curse at all, like self cast, we don't need to do it at all. And then this one here, we also get some chill chance, so we don't need to build any chill at all. So super nice skill. Alright, and then for the passives, so as you can see here, we start with the intelligence node. So we are stacking a lot of intelligence, so we of course want to get this one, max it out. And then for this, basically get some more armor, flat armor, pretty nice. And then here vitality, so we really like the attributes, and we only get the 20 points that we need, so we can get to the masteries. So for the masteries here, again, more intelligence, pretty simple. And then increased damage, so this is gonna be 120% increased damage at low life, we are most of the time gonna be low life, because we are gonna be death sealing most of the time with the low cooldown we have as well. There's a lot of increased damage, then even more increased damage, so 60% here. And then this one here, more intelligence, so very straightforward, even more damage. And then and of course armor as well from the int. And then here we get some crit chance, attack speed, very strong node, and crit multi here. So basically this crit chance here and the one from Reaper form, and then the crit chance implicit from Omnis is gonna be enough to cap our crit. If you need a bit of crit chance, you can get like a 1 point here, for example, or you can get crit chance suffix on your idol, for example, if you're missing it from the Omnis, if you have a bad rolled Omnis implicit. And then this one here, we get free necrotic penetration, so 24 necrotic pen, pretty nice, some damage. And then here also some damage, so plus 20 flat damage. So keeping in mind this is gonna be only 70% effective for harvest, but still pretty nice damage. And then this one here we get basically less physical damage taken and less necrotic damage taken on potion use. And we are gonna have a bunch of things in this build that are on potion use. So this is a lot of DR, but for monolith gaming you might not need this. So you could take 8 points out here and put them here for the increased damage. Just for like when you're speed running, you don't really need the DR necessarily. But this is the optimal way for like arena, for example. And then here some attack speed, movement speed, HP leech, so super good. We basically get all of our leech from the tree, so we don't build any leech. And then here more leech again, pretty simple. And then this one, a lot of intelligence, and the HP drain stuff doesn't really matter because we use Death Seal and the HP drain effects go off. And then for the necromancer tree, so we have just for the last 4 points here. Basically you use a potion and you get 10% attack speed and some HP on hit, and also some flat HP on that one. So for this build we basically have 2 weapon choices. We can either go for the Odachi or the Death's Embrace. So I use this damage spreadsheet that Sekar has made. So there's going to be a link in the description as well, so you can check it yourself and play around with the numbers. But as you can see here, I have calculated DPS for the Death's Embrace, and this is with the on the best in slot Opal Ring planner, and all of the weapons have been max rolled, so fully max rolled on the rolls. So Death's Embrace 410k DPS. And as you can see, the T5 Odachi is actually 13% more damage versus just a non-LP Death's Embrace. So basically this means that T5 Odachi is always going to be better than the Death's Embrace. So this Odachi has T4 necrotic damage sealed. So without that it would be basically the same DPS. And of course keep in mind with the Death's Embrace, so the basically what keeps this damage high is the 200% more damage every third hit, which means 66.66% damage every hit mathematically, and that is going to be the best case scenario for the axe. So basically how it works, you need to have 2 stacks of the buff up, and then the third hit is gonna consume the stacks and then have the damage buff. So you might not always get the actual damage buff every third hit in actual gameplay, because you might not have the stacks. So that would make this DPS way lower actually, if you don't get the buff every third hit. And then if you happen to have a T7 Odachi with the T7 attack speed, basically, well, that's gonna be way more DPS than the Death's Embrace, so almost 40% more DPS than the non-LP axe. And then if you happen to get, this is gonna be really hard to get, but if you get the unique axe with T7 attack speed, so it's quite rare and has pretty high potential level, and then also getting the attack speed on it, it's quite hard, but would be 26% more damage versus the T7 Odachi. But I would still go for the T7 Odachi, because it's a more reliable DPS. You don't have to rely on the buff, and you will always have this DPS. It will never be less, basically. And there's also some other things that are worse on the Death's Embrace. So because we lose the armor shed affix that we have on the Odachi, because this goes to up to 320% armor shed chance with the T5 affix. So we need armor shed on the gloves with the Death's Embrace. So that basically means we lose a suffix with the unique axe, and then you need to take care of the mana somehow, because basically with the buff every third hit you also use mana. So you most likely, especially if it's not like a min rolled mana roll, because it's a pretty high roll, most likely you will need some kind of mana sustain. So either maybe the mana gain with harvest on chest, which would be really bad, because we want to use a Titan Heart with LP, so you don't want to craft the Titan Heart with the mana affix. So you need to take care of this somehow, especially for bosses. And you don't have to think about this at all. We don't use any mana on the Odachi. And then because of the attack speed, especially on the non-LP axe, is gonna be way slower. and we're gonna have the less armor set chance. We are going to be applying elements way worse as well on the Death's Embrace, so basically less armor set chance and or armor set stacks and less necrotic shred also. But this basically, because this has the necrotic penetration on the implicit, so that's gonna be kind of like canceling each other out. But especially for the armor set, it's like way less armor set stacks. So this is calculated with 25 armor set stacks, which might be a good estimation, and then this is with 50 stacks, because it's very easy to get. You most likely get even a bit more than 50 stacks, even with just the T5 attack speed and the T5 armor set affix. But yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. The ailment applying, and of course keep in mind also for the calculations, the Odachi has 1.02 attack rate instead of the 1.92 on the Death's Embrace, so that's also something to keep in mind. You basically need to change this for the spreadsheet when you actually want to see the actual Odachi and Death's Embrace DPS. And also you lose the +5 all attributes on the Death's Embrace, because we have that on the suffix on the Odachi. So basically means you lose, of course you lose the flat damage, but you also lose the armor, increased armor from strength, and you lose the +50 HP from vitality. And especially if you use red rings, you definitely want to have the basically 25 plus total attributes, so it's even easier to get to the red ring threshold, even though that is very easy on this build. So that should be the comparison, and then we can take a look at how it's calculated. I'm gonna have a link for this also in the description, but basically we're not gonna go through all of this, but as you can see here, you can see the DPS here, like the average DPS, and like I said, you need to keep in mind to change the attack rate for each weapons when you want to compare those. So this basically shows a bit too high DPS at the moment for the Death's Embrace. Then you can add the stats and stuff here. So we have everything should be correct, and of course keep in mind there are huge variations with the gear you have. So it's like very hard to calculate with with basically everything affects everything, all the increases and stuff. But this is with the max rolls with the Opal Ring planner, and then this is pretty important, this tab. So you need to keep in mind the armor set stacks you will have. So you will have less on the Death's Embrace. And to add a bit on the DPS calculation, so this has the bonus added stats below the skills here. So this is basically because we get a bunch of flat necrotic damage from intelligence. So keep in mind, Harvest has 70% damage effectiveness, but that doesn't affect flat damage you get from int. So basically on this planner I'm using for this, we have 162 intelligence, so we get 162 flat damage, and then you get, this is I've added on top of that the adaptive damage and basically all the flat damage we get from the weapon, and that is basically on the Odachi we get 70 flat damage, and then you multiply that by 0.7, so you get the 70% effectiveness, and then this is just the same thing but on the unique axe. Alright, and then for the gear and idols and blessings, so starting with the weapon here, like we just talked about before, we're gonna use the Odachi, and you can also use Trident, by the way, but the Odachi is gonna be the best base for this. So we go for the increased attack speed, crit multi, armor set, and then all attributes. We can seal the necrotic damage. We can also seal frailty, T1, or you can seal also the area, so you get some more AoE, but this is a lot of damage if you seal the necrotic damage, so I think it's pretty good to go for this. And then for the helmet here, so it's gonna be the cooldown base. You can also, if you happen to get, you can use the AoE base, but the cooldown base is gonna be the best one. And then int vitality, so we like the stats once again, and then HP and crit avoidance. You can also get the crit avoidance from your gloves, just like they are interchangeable, the endurance on gloves and then the crit avoidance. And then we seal the increased necrotic damage while transformed, so even just the T1 seal is really nice. And then for the gloves, so we are using the endurance base because we do need to cap our endurance, of course. So, and then intelligence, attack speed on it, and you can also go area instead of attack speed. But I do recommend going for the DPS from the attack speed, and then hybrid HP and endurance. So could change it with the crit avoidance depending what you have. And then we seal frailty. So of course you can, like I said, you can get T1 frailty here. You can maybe seal area. It's up to you. But this is the most DPS this way. And then for the boots, so pretty simple boots. Solarum greaves, and then movement speed, int, hybrid HP, and CDR. So CDR on this build is super strong, and you want to stack quite a bit of it. Basically makes us able to death seal more and reperform. If your reperform falls off, which you will have most of the time, you will have reperform up, but sometimes if it falls off, it will come back faster because of the cooldown, and then you also can use transplant more, so faster movement basically. And then we seal the armor from some extra armor. Then for the belt here, so we are gonna basically, this base is gonna be the best one because we have a lot of flat armor already, so we don't need to use the armor base. And we like to have a lot of potions on this one because we have a lot of potion effects going on, which we're gonna see. We are using many things with potions. So basically we're going for the ward, of course, cleanse on that one. So you want to have cleanse, of course. You can go for increased chance to find potions on the prefix, or you can just go for necrotic damage. It's up to you. And then hybrid HP, and seal CDR. So this should be the most value. You could also have just T5 CDR instead of the HP, but it's best to go for this if you can get it. So just try to seal as big CDR as you can on it. And then for the relic, so this is basically one of those on potion use things that we are using. Really strong relic for this, and easy to get with LP, so 0 potential level, super common item. So it would be good if you can get the +2, +3 harvest, for example, on it. You can even play it without it, but you're basically just gonna have a bit less damage and less AoE from the AoE nodes. But even just one potential with the plus harvest is super nice. So we could, gives vitality and some stats, HP, but the important thing is the less void, necrotic, and poison damage taken on potion use. And then you also get flat damage on potion use. So when you think about it, the chance to find potions can actually be about the same damage as well as the increased necrotic. But it's up to you what you go on the belt. You can basically, there's a bunch of options you can go on the belt. It's not really set in stone. But yeah, and then for the rings, so we cover the cooldown recovery rings on this one. So Opal Ring base, so attributes CDR, and then just int and the necrotic damage. So pretty simple, and then cap our resistances from the ring suffixes. So same rings, just resistance, and has endurance here because we do need it. And then we actually seal the increased chance to find potions. So if you have these sealed here, I don't think you need the increased chance to find anymore on the belt, but depends what you get. And then the amulet here is quite important, so I would recommend you have the Omnis ready before you start. So basically the most important thing here is the all resistances except necrotic and poison, because we get necrotic and poison for free. So you try to get nice resistances on the other ones, and this makes it so it's really easy to cap our res basically. And then for the and we also get the +1 skills on it, super nice, and the crit chance, so super nice amulet. And then for the Titan Heart here, so we are gonna use Titan Heart for the DR and HP melee. I mean, it's super powerful for this build, and you can even use it just without LP. But getting it with, for example, T6 intelligence is super nice, and you don't even need anything else. Of course, if you can get more LP, that's nice. But if you want to use early, if you don't have a Titan Heart, you can use like a rare chest with just intelligence and maybe the endurance base. But Titan Heart is so strong for this that you would always want to use this one. And then for the idols, so all of these idols are just only HP that we are going for. So you get a ton of HP from these. It can be actually really hard to get these class idols, these large idols with double HP. affixes though. So you can go also, you can go crit chance on the suffix if you have a bad rolled Omnis, if you need it. So just like one HP and crit chance suffix. You can also go for the elemental resistance suffix that is on here. Same for these ones. If you need some resistance, you can go for the LRS. You can also go for the vitality and rest idols if you happen to need something like physical rest or something, void rest for example. But this is the most optimal way for the maximum HP basically. So all of these are just HP. And then for the blessings, so this is gonna be crit multi that I have here now. You can also go for void rest, but it's pretty easy to get void rest if you have a decent Omnis and then the ring suffix. And I do like the crit multi quite a bit for this build here. So you can just maybe get some void rest from the idols if you need it, if you need a bit of void rest, but there is always an option to go for the void rest blessing also. And then here we have the lightning rest. If you don't need the lightning rest, you can, because we have a lot of lightning rest already. If you happen to have the enough resistance, you can just go for the stun chance. But yeah, it's not a huge deal. Of course, the stun chance is quite nice. So if you can do it, it's super nice. And then crit avoidance, pretty basic, and basically you get crit avoidance on the helmet and then the blessing. So that's gonna be capped crit avoidance. And then double armor blessing, so increase armor and flat armor. So we have a way more armor than this because we get the armor per int from Reaper form. So we have a lot more armor, and we also get a lot of armor while you're death sealing. So while we are death sealing, we basically actually are pretty much capped on armor. And yeah, we are capped resistance, capped crit avoidance, capped endurance. We have a lot of crit multi on this build because we are using the Odachi, and pretty nice increase as well. And keep in mind, this is gonna be way more when you're in Reaper form and death sealed, so you can reach a lot of increase as well. Alright, and then we also have two best in slot planners for this build. So this is gonna be pretty much the same thing as before, but so we have T7 attack speed on the weapon, we have more LP on the chest, so HP int, and here T7 int. So you basically want T7 int anywhere you can instead of like T7 HP. So I think going for the maximum int is very good for this build. And then on the belt we have just more HP, and we have the potions. We could go for the necrotic damage as well, and then we have T7 movement speed. So we have a lot of movement speed on this because we also get basically permanent haste, and we get the swiftness also from Reaper form. So you can basically reach like 100% movement speed always, especially with the red ring version that we're gonna talk about soon. So, and then T7 int, pretty much same thing. Otherwise, everything else is the same. And then plus for harvest here, crit multi, endurance, HP. So this endurance here actually caps our endurance. So of course it depends. If you actually need it, you could go for endurance on the rings also. But yeah, getting this is not too bad. So you can even get 4 LP grimoires. You can also go intelligence instead of crit multi. Depends what you get, depends. You can even get frailty from the relic, so if you don't want to seal it. And yeah, T7 int, T7 int once again. So a lot of intelligence, 160 int actually. So this is the planner I used for the spreadsheet. So that's a lot of intelligence. And on the Omnis I just put in a T7 area. So getting 1 LP Omnis with good rolls is quite hard. But if you have to get it, you can go for T7 area. You can also go for T7 HP, T7 crit multi, T7 necrotic pen, for example. So basically you get what you get, but and the idols gonna be the same, blessings gonna be the same. Again, could use the stun chance if you want. And then we also have the red ring version. So if you happen to have 1 red ring or even 2 red rings, these are basically like super nice for this build. Definitely better than the opal rings. So basically what we get from using these, the biggest thing is of course the 10% less damage taken. So with 2 rings we're gonna have 20% less damage taken from those rings, and we basically meet the 180 attribute threshold really easily because we are stacking a lot of attributes. So we get all attributes also and all rest. So this makes it so it's really easy to get our resistances. You need 2 red rings and Omnis, and that's basically most of the time that's gonna be capped resistance. So you don't even need the Solarum Greaves Fire Res either. So a lot of DR, you also get movement speed on the implicit, so we have a quite high movement speed actually on this one, and so you get a lot. You are really fast with this, and of course getting these rings is hard. So that's the thing. You lose a bit of intelligence because we don't have the T7 int here, but again it might be even easier to get the red ring than a perfect Opal Ring with T7. But you lose basically a bit of intelligence, and you lose a cooldown, but you gain movement speed, 20% less damage taken, and you gain you have all attributes, so you do gain a bit of increase back also from the dexterity, because keep in mind harvest scales with dexterity as well. So you most of the things you lose is only the int and CDR, and then here we go for the stun chance because we don't need the lightning res. Everything else is the same. And one option also we could use on the boots. So if you happen to get it, you can go for the these boots. So most likely you would get something like this. You would get T7 movement speed, which you have to have on these boots. So because you want to be fast, and then you need the cooldown recovery. So you would have the same HP as with the Solarum Greaves, and we don't need resistance. So same armor basically, even a bit more I think, and then pretty much same movement speed, a bit less, and then same CDR, same HP, and you would get endurance here instead, and you get all attributes. So you also get the dexterity, so you get some increased damage from that also. And then maybe you can drop endurance somewhere else. You can get some other stats. So this could be pretty nice, but you basically need to have 2 LP on these. And one extra option on the belt. So you can use this Jungle Queen belt with LP if you have to get it. It's a very rare item to drop, but it's very low potential level, so it's only 14 potential level. So if you get lucky and happen to get it, you might be able to use it. You basically have to have cleanse on it, and you really don't want to drop the cooldown either. So most likely cleanse cooldown, and then also hope to get the HP. So it's pretty hard to get, but if you have to get it, you would have 16 potions, and then maybe you could even build some dodge, because you have the dodge rating from rings, and then increase dodge rating and more dodge rating also, so multiplicative dodge rating on the belt. And then maybe you can build some dexterity and then dodge rating, but this is a very hard item to get though. And then to take a look at my current gears and what I had on the gameplay. So I have a really bad Odachi. It's basically not even all T5s, and so missing a lot of damage from the Odachi. I don't have any sealed affixes. Yeah, I'm not max rolled, not T5. So you can get a lot more damage just from the weapon. And then this helmet here, T7 int, wrong base though, not the cooldown. Then pretty decent otherwise though. So I'm missing 4% crit avoidance, so almost capped. And then T6 int here, vitality on the chest. And then this belt is not the best one, so missing the necrotic damage, missing HP, so very bad belt. I have 1 red ring, minimum rolled, but still 1 red ring, and then just T6 int here and some necrotic damage, pretty basic. And then boots, these are pretty nice, so T7 pretty much just like on the planner, T7 movement speed and stuff. And gloves, not the best one. You could get don't have the exalted int, so I'm missing a lot of damage at the moment. Only +2 harvest. Yeah, so that's gonna keep my AoE a bit lower. And then 1 LP Omnis, even though it's like a very bad implicit roll, but I do have it. It's a bit of more damage, but we have so much crit multiplier, so this not too much, like maybe 5% or something more, so not too much. And then if I pop my Reaper here and Death Seal, I have 67% armor with Death Seal at the moment. And when the Death Seal falls off in Reaper, I'm gonna have about 50%. And yeah, so pretty uncapped resistance, 120 int. And in Reaper I have with potion 28k, without potion was like 23k, and then you get Death Seal, so you get insane damage. Yeah. So that's my tooltip. And idols, pretty much. I mean, it's only HP and all that stuff like we talk about, and then crit multi, pretty decent roll, crit avoidance, armor, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's the build. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more high quality last Epoch content. And you can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/volka_. So see you there. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.